Hello Horror Hounds. One of you excellent contributors, I forget who, so please forgive me, asked if I could rank either the Phantasm movies or the Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise. I want to set Phantasm aside. I do want to look at Phantasm, but in the run up to the release perhaps of Phantasm 5, which has got to be coming out sometime soon, surely. So I will do a ranking of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre series. And you have to, one of the things I'd like you guys to understand, most of you will, when I ranked the Friday the 13th movies, that video is my most downvoted video. Not by lots, but significantly the most downvoted. So for you guys out there who are gonna downvote because you don't like the order I put things in, or you're just gonna be in, you won't like this. I'm telling you right now, this will be my least popular ranking video that I ever do, even if I decide to rank types of cancer. This one here now will be the least popular ranking. To give you a little idea, I've compiled the IMDb user scores for the Texas Chainsaw movies, and worst to best according to IMDb goes like this: worst, Next Generation; next worst, Texas Chainsaw 3D; next worst, after that, Leatherface; then after that, the next worst is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2; then Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning is better than Part 2, according to IMDb. Then the remake is better than that, and finally, the original movie is better than all of those ones. My ranking is nothing like the IMDb ranking. It's nothing like the popular consensus. So prepare to not enjoy my ranking from worst to best of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Just before we begin, if you're new to the channel and you've come across this because you're checking out Texas Chainsaw stuff, good on you. You've got excellent taste. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is excellent. But have a little click on my playlist, see if there's anything there that interests you. So that's probably the best way I would suggest for people new to my channel to navigate around and see if there's other stuff you like. If you like ranking videos, word to the wise, check out my Horror World Cup playlist and you might like that. But let's do the rankings. Let's do the rankings, all right? In my opinion, in at number 7, the worst of the lot, until Leatherface comes out, and let's hope that that's a good one, is Texas Chainsaw, aka Texas Chainsaw 3D. I was holding out hopes for this, but as with many of the Texas Chainsaw sequels, it decides that it wants to be a direct sequel to the original and ignore everything that's come before it. I'll link to a video I've done on the wacky Texas Chainsaw continuity, but probably a few seconds, for purists, a few seconds into this, initially, and I'm talking the first few seconds, the footage from the original movie rendered in 3D is gobsmacking. You go, wow, they're pulling off something really special here. And then they sort of introduce what feels like about a dozen new characters who you would have thought the camera might have bumped into during the original movie. After that, it becomes an insulting exercise in assuming that your audience can't count, because the amount of time that needed to have passed between the original movie and this, compared to the relative ages of the people taking part, is just, it's such a mind-numbing insult to continuity. And then after that, it's serviceable right up until a character moment right at the very end, which is supposed to be a sort of fuck yeah kickstart of a new franchise, but it's just, I guess it's the cinema. Everyone sort of went, really? You're going with that? Really? So that doesn't get very many rewatches in my house. In my house of horror. Fucking hell. After that, I think better than that. In the number 6 spot is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. I remember really liking this, but then upon rewatch a little while ago, it fell a little flat upon rewatch. There are good moments to it. Uh, Leatherface wearing the guy's face, the push-ups, the R. Lee Ermey is probably the best value in this, and him killing the entire police department is funny as fuck. But there's too much explanation goes on in this. If you're a fan of it, that's fine, because it's a serviceable movie, and it's a serviceable prequel to the 2003 remake as well. It just doesn't feel like My Cannibal Clan. It doesn't feel like My Leatherface. The Leatherface in this, he's named, he's given a backstory, he's given an origin. Done to Leatherface in this film, I feel, is very similar to what Rob Zombie did with Michael Myers, and we know how much an awful lot of people hated what he did to Michael Myers. He gave him a childhood, an upbringing, a background, a motivation. He made him more three-dimensional, and when you explain horror as the whys and wherefores, then you kind of defang the horror, in my opinion. So this was a misstep. The number 5 spot is Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3. Another attempt to ignore the previous sequels and move straight on as a direct sequel to the original. Another attempt at a franchise Kickstarter. New Line had acquired the rights, and Freddy was winding down, and Leatherface was going to be the new icon, but it's mishandled. Really, it's good. This is good. It's fun. It's a hell of a lot more fun when you can watch the deleted scenes. The censors took an awful lot of the gore out of this, and also threw in a miraculous last act. A character pops back that's so obviously supposed to be dead. I like it more in my head now that I've seen the scenes that are cut. I cut them back into the film in my head, and it's a much gorier affair. But the original wasn't really a gory affair. This is Leatherface in the vein of Jason, and we've got Jason, and whilst it's fun, it's all surface. There's nothing to really get your teeth into. So if you're after a good sort of full-blooded, fun sort of slasher movie, this is above average. It's got Viggo Mortensen in it as well. It's got that little girl's like yakety yak, don't talk back. I mean, it's good. It's good value. It's just nothing special. It doesn't have the TCM shine to it. Mind you, most of these films don't. Next, the number 4 spot is... I held up the wrong one last time. I was previously talking about Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, and should have been holding up the correct box. We are now in the number 4 spot, going to be talking about the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003. Although I don't like everything Platinum Dunes did. I've said in previous videos that their remakes seem to have a sheen, a corporate sheen to them, and a spreadsheet mentality to them. There seems to be minds behind a lot of the Platinum Dune films, minds that wear suits even on the weekends and look at spreadsheets and projection graphs and things like that. However, this does benefit greatly from Ali Ermey, obviously the drill sergeant from Full Metal Jacket, in full-on form here. I think the opening is superb. The new twist on the old favourite, when they pick up the hitchhiker and she kills herself in the van rather than being part of the clan, sort of luring them in. I genuinely think Leatherface in this is an imposing force, but he's not the driving force. That is the sheriff and the family around him, and there is a sense of dread in this, that a group of kids who just happen to have wound up here are well and truly screwed, and so there's a little bit of the magic of the original here, but with a new twist, and because there's a new dynamic and a whole new family dynamic, and because you're dealing with in this one, as you think, I mean, fuck what the prequel retcons into existence, the lore as well. You don't come into it knowing exactly what's going to happen, and how it's all going to unfold and play out. And I do appreciate the changes they made and the new sort of direction they tried to go with for this. So for me, it's one of the more successful remakes of recent times. Better than that, though, and some people will be going, I can't believe this hasn't already appeared on the list. We all know it's shit. We know it's shocking. Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. Now, excuse me while I take a little drink before I get into this. I have already done a full video talking about this movie, so I'm not going to go too much into it. I know it's almost universally loathed, but in exactly the same way that I believe I got downvotes are in the Friday the 13th ranking video, because I put Jason Goes to Hell relatively high because it tried something different. It's a fresher film to watch. If you want Jason down and dirty in the tool shed and in the woods, you have got those films to go to. If you want the Sawyer clan or the cannibal family in the house with a group of people that they torture and kill, you've got those Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies. Nowhere else are you going to get fresh from the prom Renee Zellweger, a transvestite Leatherface. And people lose their minds about Leatherface dressing up as a woman in this. He did it in the original. When dinner is served, he's got his mother persona. Leatherface has different personas in the original freaking movie. Can we move on maybe from freaking out that Leatherface is in a dress and applies lipstick in this movie? It's a complete non-issue. Leatherface has always done this. Can we instead talk about Matthew McConaughey chewing scenery that doesn't exist, building scenery just so that he can chew it down with the express purpose of munching into it. It's got one of my favourite lines of all time. Actually, I've got some lines from it. So, by way of explanation, as to my love for this, we're going to have a couple of quotes. What are you going to do? Well, first I'm going to kill you. Ain't no fucking biggie. And then his victim starts running away. Of course, it's different for every individual. Love that line. Rothman, this weird Illuminati character. See, this is why the ending is so gonzo. It's unlike anything in any other movie. The idea that there's this Illuminati CIA-backed force with the express purpose of giving kids a spiritual experience through an understanding of pure horror, and if this group of backwoods people, the idea that they sort of somehow run the country or run the world, and it's so insane. But this Rothman character, when he sees what's happening, fuck, this is appalling. You're here for one reason and one reason only. Do you understand that? I want to hear you say you understand that. No, it's very simple. I want these people to know the meaning of horror. Horror, is that clear? You don't want to be a silly boy. Is that clear? And Matthew McConaughey, Velma, goes, fucking A, it is. I love Velma. All this has been an abomination. You must accept my sincere apologies. It was supposed to be a spiritual experience. I can't tell you how disappointed I am. I'm sure there were many people by the end of the movie going, yeah, buddy, I'm disappointed as well. I just happen to love it. It's so insane. It's so out there that it gets the number 3 spots for me. The number 2 spot that has been long reviled, that is since having a bit of a renaissance itself. People are reassessing this movie. I think, along with Nightmare on Elm Street 2, and I've said this down the line, and I'll continue to say, along with Nightmare on Elm Street 2, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 is one of the best horror sequels that has ever been made. The reason people lost their minds over this is it wasn't a retread of the original movie. But what Tobe Hooper did, coming to it years later, is to make it overtly comedic, overtly satirical about the Reagan era, Reaganomics and the like, where it's for the small businessman, it's literally dog eat dog, or businessmen eat clients to make more food to feed to more clients. It's unbelievably insane. Where the original is an exercise in restraint, this one just goes out there. So you could, why I've put in the number 2 and 3 spots 2 and The Next Generation. You can see I love my Gonzo horror sequels. But it introduces Chop Top, who is one of the great Bill Moseley, one of the greatest characters in horror cinema, and Drayton Sawyer bemoaning the life of the small businessman on the road and all the taxes he has to pay, whilst his business is killing and cooking people and feeding them to other people, whilst riding around Texas winning chili cook-off competitions. It's so bizarre. Adding to that, Dennis Hopper as a revenge-fueled sheriff who wants to have a saw-on-saw chainsaw fight with the people that killed his nephew from the original movie. And you just got quite delicious quotes like Drayton here to Leatherface. You have one choice, boy, sex or the saw. Sex is, well, nobody knows. But the saw is family. Drayton again, it's a dog-eat-dog world, and from where I sit, there just ain't enough damn dogs. Fucking lefty Dennis Hopper coming in at the end, all wrath and fury of God. I am the Lord of the Harvest. Drayton, what's that? Some new health food bunch? Chop Top, lick my plate, you dog dick. And also, not me, you dumbass Leatherface, you bitch. Look what you did to my Sonny Bono wig. The genuine shocking moment of Leatherface coming out at the radio station, coming out of the darkened archive room. Just the whole creepy scene where Chop Top turns up and starts talking to Stretch, and then heating up the coat hanger and peeling off the skin at the edge of his metal plate and eating it, and just the bizarreness of it is absolutely glorious. Of course, though, the top spot goes to the greatest, the original, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. We've got quite a strange relationship with this movie in this country. It was banned for an awfully long time. It was part of the video nasty censorship debacle that we had. The film was rejected by the British film censors in 1975, but it did get a limited cinema release in the London area, thanks to the Greater London Council. It was banned again in 1977 when the censors' attempts to cut it were unsuccessful. Then it was banned again in 1984 due to the growing controversy involving video nasties. In 1999, after the censors finally changed their policy, they took the plunge, passed it uncut for cinema and video 25 years after they first banned it. So in 1999, That was the first chance I got to watch the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and I watched it at the cinema. And it was one of the most uncomfortable experiences I've ever had in my entire life. I came this close to walking out, not because it was explicit, it wasn't, but by the third act, it was just such a freewheeling descent into utter madness. There were no anchors by the end, no linchpins of normality, and it was a glorious assault on the senses. I was reaching the limit of what I could take, because by the end it had become a symphony of shouting, screaming, roaring chainsaws, literally like a Beethoven symphony. The soundscape does all the work for you and assaults and pounds your senses into complete and utter submission. It also earns points with Franklin for one of the least condescending depictions of any character with a disability at all. He's so completely unlikable, so he doesn't get a free pass just because he's in a wheelchair. Quite the opposite. I applaud that. To think that this was done by a bunch of students, or freshly graduated students, on a shoestring budget, to create something so truly mind-bendingly iconic that subsequent attempts to recreate it have all failed, and in my opinion the only attempts sequel-wise otherwise are just to go to the complete other extremes, because this is absolute lightning in a bottle, magic cinema that won't be topped. So there's my ranking of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that you will hate, and you can now downvote away. Downvote all you like. Just check out some of my other videos, because I'm sure if you're fresh to my channel, there's other stuff here that you will like.